and you get to see kind of the backside of it. So not just the, we kind of see the front side out in the public and stuff, but you get to be there at night when he's like struggling with coming home after a long meeting, or he just had a phone call with a citizen, and you get to see all the backside of it. And so full well, and I believe, like most, wives to a husband or husbands to a wife who is in public service like that, if you didn't fully believe and support him in what he's doing, you would have told him not to run this time. I'm guessing. Is that? Am I right about that? You've been like, nope, don't want to do it. But you must absolutely believe in what he's doing and believe in the man sitting in that chair.
100%. He, like I said before, he found his purpose and his passion when he got on council. And he's been very huge in the downtown and what has happened downtown in the past 9 years that we've been here. And not just the downtown, but owning the UPS store and fostering those relationships. He has always been open to having people call him. His phone number's always been available. Come to our house. People have come to our house, taken him up on that and come to our house, which is great because he makes himself available and he really doesn't get stressed about it. He is pretty laid back and chill and calm. You're
the one that's getting upset and wound up, and I fully understand that.
I don't relish the term politician, but it does come with the territory, right? I'm running for an office, and it's politics, I guess. But I'm really just, and always have been, since we've been in Celina, just so involved and interested and wrapped up in the success and the future of Celina, that sometimes I forget. I'm not one to run to Facebook and talk about it. I have a funny story about that if you're interested.
Please, by all means.
To show what either I'm a terrible politician or I'm like a good politician because I don't talk about myself or whatever. I find that hard to do sometimes. Some time ago, and I can't remember exactly when, but I feel like we were in our temporary council chambers, which were the ISD building when the new, most beautiful council chambers ever, I think, were being renovated. We got robbed, by the way. We should have been number one in the state for the renovation award or whatever, but somebody else, we came in second. Anyway, there was 2 people on council. One of them was the mayor and myself, and the public works director of the time comes up to us and says, that water tower downtown, she broke. Doesn't work anymore. There's no water in it. What do you want me to do with it? And I'm not going to pin it down on either one. We'll just let it go with these 2 things. One of them said, tear it down. And the other one said, why don't we move it out to the park? And I said, hell no. That thing stays right where it is, and we repair it in a way that it becomes a monument, and we keep it right there, just like that. We refurbish it, we paint it. To be fair, I didn't come up with the lights and that current paint scheme or whatever, but that's the kind of, you make the call. Am I a good politician because I didn't talk about it, or am I a bad politician because I didn't talk about it? But
That's a great story, and I had no idea that was ever even a thing. Like, that would be.
Can you imagine without that thing?
No, it'd be a tragedy if we didn't have that there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, it's everything to this city. Like, it's such it's like the Statue of Liberty almost for Celina.
It's on some of our campaign. Some campaign signs right now have the water tower on there. You're welcome.
You were helping people out. You didn't even know it.
That's right. Servant all the way.
I like it. But going back to how you guys actually got to Celina, I know you came from Ohio, and I know you've got some very strong roots in college and things like that in Ohio. So tell us the story. Either one of you, tell me, how did we get here?
I'll start. My mom and I moved down here from Ohio in the middle 70s. And for the boomers out there, that was the decade before the 80s or the millennials or whatever. And then I graduated from Plano Senior High.
Okay.
and went back to Ohio, went to Ohio State, and then stayed in Central Ohio for about a dozen years, moved back down here in 1997. So I've been back about 26 years.
Wow.
And Debbie can kind of fill in.
I moved here from New York in 1977. My mom and I moved, and my sister, we moved to Oak Cliff. My sister graduated from high school in Oak Cliff. We continued to move north, and then in the 80s, we moved to Prosper. So I grew up in Prosper. I spent time in Prosper and made a lot of friends. And then when we were living in Plano and looking for a way to move out of Plano, when Toyota announced that they were coming to Plano, the housing market was going crazy. And so we're like, ooh, let's take advantage of this housing market and sell our house. But we were having to buy in that same exact market within Plano. So we came out here to visit some of my friends from Prosper from high school, and they were living in downtown Celina, flipping a house on Ohio Street. Hop went to Ohio State, so a little light bulb went, ooh. And we went and looked at it, saw his vision with our HGTV glasses on.
Right.
Saw his vision of what the house was going to look like, and went home that night. That was a Saturday, and on a Sunday, on a Monday, put a sign in our front yard and moved to Celina.
Wow. So you fell in love with Celina, or did you fall in love with the house?
Both.
We were coming up here fairly often, at least a couple of times a year, but as anybody that lives in Plano or Richardson or whatever, this is Oklahoma.
Right. Far away.
Yeah, we love these people, but we're going up there. But once we moved here, once we started visiting, we realized what a cool place it was. And then once we moved here, the house was, in my opinion, a little whisper in our ear from God that this is the answer that you're looking for. You couldn't find it in Plano, but this is the back half of the equation for you to not be a buyer in that seller's market, to come up here. And it took God saying, "It's on Ohio Street."
Let me put it on a billboard.
Let me hit
for
you in the face with this.
You see the street sign that says Ohio. That should ring a bell with you.
So
right.
It really did.
It was also a little like coming home for me also, because I have a lot of friends that went away to college and moved back to Prosper, moved to Celina. And then I talked to a lot of my friends to move to Celina once we got out here. To put it into how small it was when I was here in perspective, I used to work at Tom Thumb at Park and Preston. It's not there now. I don't know what it is, but just Park and Preston. So from Prosper, I would drive in 1990 down Preston Road, which was a 2-lane road, until you got to, I believe it was Legacy, 15 minutes.
Wow.
It took me to get to Park and Preston.
Wow.
From Prosper, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Celina was what we were both looking for. She had a taste of it. I was a bigger community guy my whole life. But I always sort of wanted to be in this type of environment, and living downtown and all that is just terrific.
I want to talk a little bit about how you guys met. I know you were in the military. You didn't meet in the military.
No.
No.
We met here in Plano right around 2001, and got married a few years later. We met at a bar.
I was waiting for that.
She asked if I would put, true story, she asked if I would put the lime in her Corona, and in my head I said, if you'll marry me. And
I don't even drink Corona.
But it's a good story.
But I did that night for some reason.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome. I had no earthly idea. What a great story.
Yeah.
What a really good story. So you make your way here, and like I said, you were military. I keep going back to that, but tell me about the military, because Army, is that correct?
Army infantry. I graduated from Plano Senior High, and about 8 days later, I had a full face of Sergeant Howard T. White. He said, I would never forget his name, and he is right. And spent that summer in infantry training, advanced infantry training, and then went to the Ohio Army National Guard. And I was in the Guard for 9 years, I think.
Well, some time. Very good. And you're still involved in some way with the American Legion.
A founding member of the American Legion and the current commander of the American Legion. So far, they won't let me not be the commander. They
just really want you there.
Yeah. Don't miss a meeting. I don't miss any meetings really, but it's a great group of people, and we don't have a cantina or anything like that, like some of the larger cities American Legion posts have. I think we will at some point, but that's not our focus. Our focus right now is helping veterans. We have a really great program that helps veterans get the disability checks from the VA. And the VA is basically designed to keep the money away from the veterans, which is a really backwards, jacked up system. And we should be ashamed at how it is, at how hard the hoops that people have to go through to get what's coming to them as far as health care and injury care and that mental health care, for Pete's sake. We try and do very well at it in getting people connected with people that are going to get them their money, going to get them some help, keep them out of crisis. That's our focus right now. Secondarily, we also send boys and girls to what's called Boys and Girls State, which short answer is kind of like a model UN sort of situation in Austin. They go down there, they create a couple of parties, they run people for governor or mayor or trash collector or whatever, and we've just heard some amazing stories where these kids come back and they may be a bit of a wallflower when they come back, or when they go there, they come back. And one kid that way was kind of timid and shy, came back and ran for president of the student council as a senior and won. I mean, this is like a life-changing thing.
Good stuff.
Actually, a check mark on the military academies. It's like right next to, were you an Eagle Scout? Did you go to Boys State or Girls State? So proud of that.
Very, very good. Good stuff. And I know, I don't know if I have your permission to talk about this, but you guys have some very special breed dogs, and you've recently started like a Facebook group for those dogs. So tell me about that, Debbie.
Yes, we have 3 soft-coated Wheaten Terriers. We have Murphy, who's the oldest. We have Grady Buffington and Higgins O'Doyle.
Wow.
And I met several families here in town over the past couple of years, specifically at the UPS store. People come in and see our picture on the wall, and they immediately ask if they're soft-coated Wheaten Terriers. And we see people out walking their dogs, and of course we stop the car and get out and say hi to their Wheaten Terrier.
Yeah, we're those people.
So I wanted to start a page because they are a fun breed, and it's just a community of Wheatens. So I've been trying to start the Celina soft-coated Wheaten Terrier group.
Can I ask how many people are in a group like that right now?
There's not many at all. I think
it just started last week. So
there's just a few, and I'm not very good at when it comes to that part of social media, like getting it out, so like boosting it or whatever.
Right.
Word of mouth. I've asked Julie Cook is our groomer here in Celina, and so I've asked her. She grooms quite a few Wheatens to make sure that her customers know about the page.
Because we need to recruit people into the Wheaten Terrier group.
The Caneys, Councilwoman Caney and her husband and their family have a couple of Wheatens because this one right here, and that's no joke. And they love them. Callie and Pancake are their pooch's names, so they're definitely members of the group. Yeah, very, very good. That's awesome.
So I'm curious, and I'm gonna kind of switch gears a little bit here. I'm not gonna ask Andy this question, although it's truly a question for Andy. But I want to ask Debbie, what's the future of Celina look like?
Oh my gosh, the future of Celina is hopefully a small town feel with the growth all around. So the growth is going to come. We know that, but I hope that with Hop's influence, that we'll be able to keep that small town charm feel and keep those small businesses coming and flourishing because of what he and the mayor and council have cultivated for the city.
Absolutely. Andy, what do you think about that?
Ditto.